Hello and welcome to an Everquest guide for a level 120 mage. So this is how I play my mage. This is probably not the most efficient way to play a mage. So I'm just throwing some disclaimers out there right away. I do box this mage, and so I'm just throwing it out there. So let's kind of go into this. I'm going to go over my spells, hotbars. We'll talk about gear, and we'll talk about AAs. So, first spell I have on my list is Twin Cast. This allows me to twin cast magical spells that do damage. So, must have. Ideally, you want rank 3, but I have not gone back in time to the old expansions to do anything yet. So, eventually I'll get that to rank 3. Next up, I have Rolling Servant. So this is our pet swarm spell. It just summons a little pet, and he runs out there, attacks, and does substantial damage, in all honesty. I mean, he's hitting like 12k, 40k, jeez. He does damage, and he plays into how the mage here goes with Barrage of the Many. So this does damage based on the amount of pets that are in melee combat with the current target, right? And this ranges from, let's see if we can get this, so we can actually read this here. So it starts out at 9,000 damage, which is terrible. But the more pets that are out, it'll go up to 67,000 damage. And this isn't just like the mage's pets. This is all pets from all classes, right? I box a necromancer, I box a bard, I box a shaman, and these are all throwing pets out there. So I am constantly at that 7 or more pets range, right? So I'm constantly doing 67,000 damage. You times that by whatever, it's like millions. This character is probably my highest DPS class at the moment. Alright, and then I got a Spear of Molten Alekanite, which is another huge nuke for 73,000. And then Chaotic Calamity, which does 53,000, but it has a chance to do some gambling, if you will. So 25% to do more damage, you know, 35% chance to do mana restore, 10% chance to twin cast, 25% chance to jolt, reduce our hatred, and then a 4% chance to refresh all the spells except for twin cast, and then a 1% chance to decrease our damage by 5 to 15%. So it's kind of a gamble, but I like it, so we're gonna put it in there. Elliptic Companion. So this helps our pet significantly. It will heal it, increase its stats, and magic. It does the stuff it does with melee skills. It does more and adds more procs. I mean, this is insane. Makes our pet almost unkillable in most situations, but you can see here, increases our melee skills by 160%, heals up to 25,000 every 6 seconds, increases all stats by 220, adds a chance to Companion Strike, which deals 39,000. Yeah, it's insane. So you got to do that on cooldown. Gather Vigor here is just a mana restore, and I'd be remiss if I did not mention our synergy is Rolling Servant. So every time I do that, everybody in the group gets a chance to get Conjurer's Synergy, which increases the damage of one spell by 90%. So just insane. Everybody gets that, and I do Rolling Servant on cooldown. Gather Vigor gives us mana back. Relentless Symbiosis gives us takes takes health from the pet and creates a shield around us that increases our mana regen for 10 minutes. And it gives us another 84 mana regen. This is very useful. It's not a lot, but it's useful. And I am constantly out of mana. I'm at 1100 mana regen now. Constantly out of mana because I don't stop. I don't ever stop going. So next up is Ice Flame Barricade. This is a damage shield for the pet that will do 30,000 damage. Sorry, I was just like distracted reading that. And then it will also do a 8500 proc. So it's pretty nice. And then Burnout, what is that, 15? Increases the pet's damage by 25%, haste by 185%, attack rating by 341, and armor class by 49. It's just an insane buff for the pet. Always keep it buffed. I just got rank 2, so. And then I keep Call of Heroes memorized because I try to cheese as much content as I can because autofollow sucks. It is terrible in some places, and just being able to run the mage to that spot, bring everybody there, is fantastic. And then I always have my pet memorized, so if like my pet dies, I can just put another one out there real quick. It's a low mana cost, like 600 mana. Like I'm at, what am I at right now? 247,000 mana. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Gets another pet out there real quick and gets it going. And then I don't always have that one memorized. Where is it? Damage Shield. And I keep Damage Shield memorized. Otherwise, which is Emberweave Cloak, which is a significant damage shield. I don't know if it says it on the tooltip. Yeah, 6,500 damage on every time something hits somebody. It's, you know, it adds up. It adds up. All right, so that's my spells that I normally do. There's other spells that I use to, you know, create these weapons and stuff, but we're going to talk about that here in a minute. That's the, you know, summoned weapons and stuff. But for the most part, I do not change any of these spells that I'm using right now in normal combat. So my first top bar here is Hide Corpse macro. So just, you know, you kill a bunch of stuff, the corpses pile up, and those can cause lag. I clear them as much as I can. I also auto inventory. I'm constantly making mod rods with this character, and everybody's getting a mod rod added to their hands, so everybody auto inventories at the same time. And then I also forage because I want to get the skill up, and I get the all the stuff from the different expansions to craft with later on. So it's that. I also have a macro for Call a Hero. This is the single target Call a Hero, so it works pretty well, honestly. Like if I run out the pool, I'll usually have like someone targeted that's doing something, and I can just hit 2 and summon them to me in a few seconds. And I use Multibind, which is built into the client. So if you go here, like hotbar 6, which is one of these, you see I have 4 and 5 also bound to every key on that hotbar. You can see here the visual as everything says 5, right? So when I hit 4 or 5, it will hit any of these buttons in pretty much order like this, but it seems kind of random at times. And so all this does is target X target 19. So X target 19 is the target that my assist is targeting. I pet Swarm, I pet Attack, I cast 1. Cast 1 is twin cast. And then I cast Mod Rod if I have one. So that is on every time I hit 4, all this stuff happens, right? So everything, all these buttons down here go. So we kind of go over here. I'll kind of go over the buttons here in a second. So if I hit 4, there you go. My pet's going, servant's going, all the AAs are starting to fire, right? And then it goes spell by spell. Companion's Aegis goes out. Chaotic Calamity. Servant to Row. And so on and so on. We just go through here. casting everything as it's available, right? So some of these have a longer reuse time. So there's, you know, there's a little bit of dead space, it looks like, on some of these, but for the most part, getting everything out there and just doing that. You can see we're doing 500 and 600,000 DPS right now. That's my pet for somebody that's not associated with me, but you can kind of see the pet is doing 124,000 damage. I'm doing almost 500,000 damage my own. So there, and then Gather Vigor is you know, kind of a slowdown in the rotation, but since it's multi-bound and it's the way I play, I just keep it like that. So you can see there, it's Aegis, Rolling Servant, just popping those pets out constantly, getting that going. And you know, what is that? So let's just say close to 600,000 because it varies. But there we go. So that's kind of like my rotation. So let's go into the spells here. So first up is Twin Cast, and then is Elliptic Companion, and then Rolling Servant, Barrage of the Mini, Chaotic Calamity, what is that one? Spear of Molten, Gather Vigor, and then Arcane Whisper. We didn't talk about this one yet. This is lowers our hatred. Host of Elements summons more little summon pets to get us closer to that 7+ number we need to maximize damage on of the mini. And then Force of Elements, just another nuke, does 34,000 damage. Servant of Row, this summons that big fire elemental that deals damage, right? So he's another pet, 60 seconds out, 120,000 damage. Didn't realize he did that much. And it's nice. Then Companion's Aegis, or no, this is Companion's Necessity. So this summons more pets to distract the target, right? So I use pet taunting, pet taunts on all my characters, but I do run a tank. And the trick is that I'm trying to mitigate as much damage that goes directly on my tank and allowing me to pull multiple mobs, right? And not have to worry about mezzing them. So I can tank one, maybe two on my Paladin, and then I have the pets that are just kind of like chaotically taunting all these mobs. So, you know, I can get 2 or 3, 4 mobs in camp, and I'm not really having a bad day. So it works out pretty well most of the time. And this is just more pets too. These ones do area taunt, so it's just like whatever, just taunt it up. We'll figure it out later, right? It's nice. And then I have Companion's Aegis. Since I have pet taunt on all my pets, this one's just lower the chance that they're going to take a lot of damage. And then this lasts for 36 minutes. It's a 30-second reuse. So as soon as those 12 hits get heated up, if it doesn't get used, it just, you know, kind of works with itself there. Elemental Conversion, this just converts health into mana from the pet. Because I do run low on mana. Now, it might be a little bit better now that I have better gear, but for the most part, I was running a lot worse. And I don't know why Companion's Aegis is on here twice. Let's drop that. But there we go. That's my multi-bind. Pretty much whenever I hit 4 or 5, all these spells just kind of activate. And it works out really well for me. You know, I'm getting like 600k DPS without trying, without burns, without them doing anything. And it'll change, like if I get everybody activated, the damage starts changing a little bit. I do have some Bard songs on right now from whatever I did when I did the Bard video. But that's pretty much the same as what I'm always running. All right. And then after that, I have a burn button, which is silent casting, which lowers my aggro. Heart of the Skyfire, which increases the damage of our spells by 95 to 145%. Reduces our hatred and increases the damage dealt by criticals. So this is a pretty good spell. Spire of Elements increases the chance that our direct damage spell will critically land by 24%. Blesses your companions with companions elements, all group members in a 600-foot radius with apex of the elements, so everybody gets allied elemental strike, which deals 1800 damage and increases the damage shield and fire resistance. So everybody gets that, just all around more damage. And then forceful rejuvenation right here, which just resets the cast timer on spells. Now you'll notice some of these spells have recast times, like Ecliptic, Vigor, and Barrage of the Many, I believe, has a recast time of like 10 seconds. Yeah, 10 seconds on that one. Spear, 10 seconds. And Calamity's 5. So if I hit Forceful Rejuvenation, they're all refreshed and available for me right away. So kind of like sets me up for a burn, right? Like if I've just gathered Vigor, right, and then I Forceful Rejuvenation, I get that back. And I can start going again. It doesn't redo twin cast, but it doesn't matter because I'm doing improved twin cast in the burn, so that will not stack with normal twin cast. So if that makes any kind of sense there. Then in burn 2, we have Focus Arcanium right here, which improves the resist modifier for us. So lowers the resist so we can cast more spells. And then finally we have Thaumaturge's Focus right here, which increases the base damage of our magic direct damage spells from 60 to 100% and increase the chance to spell critical chance by 10%. So I don't think this actually applies to fire spells now that I'm like looking at this. I don't know. I think it just says magic, so I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter. It's just another thing I throw out. And then use item right here. Zeal Elements allows your next pet 8 bash backstab attacks to trigger Companion's Assault, which does 267,000 damage. Insane, right? And we just, you click that. So the pet's doing his magic thing, and we go here. Companion's Assault, 267. 267. I'm trying to see if he's going to get a critical. 267. Doesn't look like it's going to crit, or it's just rare for it to crit. But as you can see, it's free damage that the pet's just doing without me having to even think about it. Yeah, I didn't see a single crit there, so maybe it crits, maybe it doesn't. All right, so that's burn 2. I have Blood Drink because I copied this from my paladin, so and then nothing there. And then I have a sit macro, an escape macro here. This just makes us invis and gives us invaders invisibility. I have a mount, so I can mount everybody up. I actually use the mount on the mage the most, just for that extra little bit of mana regen. What is that, like it's like almost 50 mana regen just from sitting on it. Every little bit helps. Then I have a attack macro. This is X target 19 assist, the thing. Pet attack, pet swarm, cast 2, which sends the summon pets and then turns my attack on so I can melee. I'm using a Lori's Song from Lorian's Song, which will do 11,000 damage in melee. So it's kind of worth it if I melee. If we kind of look here, we might get a proc. Let's see here. Are they here? There we go. Surge of Ice, 11,000. And these can crit. You can see up here, I got a lucky critical for 68,000. So that's just damage I get in between spell casts, right? Now, if I'm being, overly sweaty, I guess is the word my son would say, to how I play, the boxes, like once I position the bard, I position the mage and get her meleeing as soon as possible. Let's see here. That's there. Where was I at here? Oh yeah, right here, debuffs. So I have a debuff macro, which will dispel. It will then mallow and then send the pets in. So if we do this, right, eradicate magic. So it dispels all the negative things. It does not dispel positive things. Like it does not, it dispels positive buffs on him. It doesn't dispel these like so it's all debuffed, right? If I dispel it again, it doesn't take any of those away. So it's a safe dispel. Unlike the old dispels back when, you know, like early on in the game, that will totally wipe everything out that's on there. So it's pretty nice. It gets mallow on there. It gets that dispel on there. And that was really useful in Terra Luckland on those mobs that in Umbral Plains that I'll have like 30,000 point damage shields. Then just destroy you if you're not paying attention. Then I have a short duration buff here, cast buff, which will cast my damage shield, and then mod rods. Pretty what's this one? Go. There you go. You're gonna cast it now. Hit it twice. So damage shield goes out, and then she makes a mod rod for everybody. And I just make mod rods constantly. It's best thing. The best thing in the world. Alright, let's just turn you off, stop that, back. I don't know what's going on there, that little hammer. Alright, mass group buff. Whenever I die, I go to the guild lobby, I give everybody damage shield. Follow macro, attack off, X target 1, which is my tank. Stand, follow, invite, so that just kind of does a lot of things at once, right? Stands, because you can't follow while sitting, and it follows to turn on auto follow, and then invites to join the group if I was invited, right? And these are all clickies for teleports to somewhere. So I got my Lorien Song, I got my Bind Affinity, Gate. I have no idea what this one was. It's not there. I don't know why. Here, let's just get rid of it. And then Thorn of Heroes and Origin, Campfire. Pretty standard there. Summon Agent, summon a Banker kind of thing. Or a Vendor. And then Potions. I have all my characters have Potions and Lesson on the same button. Right there. And we already did the Multibind. And then I have a clicky right here. If you watch any of the videos, I'm always coming over here and clicking the mod rod. It's a long cast, so I don't put it in the Multibind. Otherwise, I'd never do anything since it's instantly recasted. I do cast one aura. I do not have on right now. This it's an aura called Arcane Disselect. It's from level 85. It says it improves pet damage. I have not tested it. I've not done anything with it, but someone on one of the videos told me I should be using it. So there we go. Let me turn off my necromancer. All right. Who the hell is still fighting that thing? It's annoying. All right. Let's see here. Elemental conversion. We already talked about this. It just converts pet health to mana. That's nothing. Call a hero macro. Eradicate magic. It's in my debuff button. Suspend companion allows me to suspend my pet. Go like this. Boom, he's gone. And it gave me another pet. What? I've died. I guess you keep him through death? That's interesting. He's 115. Suspend. He's 117. That's crazy. I've died since the last time I suspended that, so I didn't realize you kept the suspended pets. Frenzied Burnout here. So this is just a big, massive pet DPS increase. Don't need to read all that. Companion's Aegis, another damage reduction for the pet. Companion Shielding heals your pet for 50,000 and shields it for incoming damage. Host in a Shell, another pet rune, absorbs 25% of damage. Fortify Pet, another, just massive fortification kind of spell on the pet. Right? It's just 425,000 of melee reduction. Then I have my familiar. Every expansion gives a familiar extra 1,400 hit points and some mana regen. Shrink Companion. You can either do that or click your earring. Pet earring, that is. Elemental Form is an actual permanent buff. I've never lost it. It is very nice. I feel like this one's probably outdated. Let me see here. XX, that's 33. Let's recast it. Yeah, 33. So it stays there forever. You don't have to recast it, but I have it here just in case something goes wrong. Relentless Symbiosis. This is just another buff for mana regen. And then Velocity is a pet speed buff to make your pet faster. And then Thaumaturge's Unity, which gives us Chaotic Bestow, Bodyguard, Shield of Restless Ice, and Restless Guardian all in one spellcast. It is fantastic in every possible way. And I just keep those up at all times anyway. There you go. So you can see there, all those are refreshed. All right, that's all my spells. That's all that. I kind of want to talk about a new command they added recently. So pet inventory. So I have it over here. You just right click, select inventory, and it'll show you all the things that your pet currently has equipped. Now this pet has not been given anything. I have not given him anything. I just summoned him. And this is what the mage pet starts with. Now if we go over to the necromancer and we do the same thing, pet inventory, all he gets is a cloak. So keep that in mind when we talk about some of this stuff. So here's my pet. So I get 3 summoned items. I get, what do they all call it here? Let's get the names here. Create item. So armor, the 116 Sentient Plate, focus items, Dabos, heirlooms, and then weapons, Dath armament, Shank Dath's armaments, whatever. Those, I don't think there's another one. Maybe in miscellaneous. Oh wait, I think the visor. I think we want that one. Let's do that one real quick. This 112 feels low. Target me, grant it. There we go. There's the mask. And let's just double check, make sure I didn't miss anything else. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, so let's take a look at this. Mask is 500 HP and what that, so inventory here. Face. All right, he's already got one on, but you can see that it is not as good as this one. It has more hit points. This one has less attack, and stuff like that. This one has endurance regeneration, so it's things like that. But for the most part, the pet, oh god, the mage pet already starts with everything except the weapons. Now we get into some of these other items here, like neck, right? We'll compare the neck. So he has the neck already, so we don't have to worry about that one. He has the shoulders. Where is it at here? He has the woven shawl. He has the gold ring. But he does not have the bracers. We'll talk about those in a second. He has the earring. Right ear. Kalong dark mail. What? He's wearing those on his ear. That doesn't even make sense. Someone must have gave them to him. I guess. I don't know. It seems broken. He is. Where's the item? He had the earring on. Alright, let's give him this earring. Because I think that's... No, he's not even going to accept it. So he has that one on, so... I don't know where it's at. There it is, left earring. He's got it on his left earring right now. Alright. Now belt. Let's look at belt. It's another item we summoned. So he has the belt. So he has all of these pieces. He doesn't have the weapons, but he does not have the bracers. So if we look here at... I don't know what this Kalong Dark Maul stuff is. It's like totally broken. So the edged bracer compared to the linked bracer, you can see there is a significant improvement there. So if we do this, come on. So pet, inventory, and then help. Now it'll say you can do the command check or you can do destroy and then slot. So we're gonna do destroy. And then what slot was that? Left wrist. So left wrist. It's bracer has been destroyed. If we do that again for the right wrist, Kalong Dark Maul Golems have been destroyed. All right, so go over here, hand him these two bracers, like so. I guess we're getting one back. Don't know. Doesn't even make sense. Let's just go pet inventory here. You can see that bracer is on him somewhere. Just right wrist right there. So he gained some stats out of that. I don't know why he's got the Kalong stuff on there. It doesn't make sense. And then I've been told don't give pets weapons that proc, but I have not noticed any difference personally. And I kind of like watching them proc. I don't know. I give them the first ones, they do 12,000 cold damage, plus give them some more hit points. I give the taunting ones to my necro pet since he's higher level, but increases hatred. So the weapons are good. You don't have to give anything else to the mage pet. Now everything else I have on here, I can give to the necro pet, which I can't even see right now. It's right there. So I can give all those to the necro pet, but it's like invisible to me. So don't even know there why, but you know, the new feature is pretty nice. You can kind of see the stuff. You can click on these and see what they have. Now if you want to give your pet like conflagrant stuff, like let's look in the bazaar here, conflag, the only item you don't want to give a pet is the cloak. If we look at the back, the cloak of enhancement here, notice that it reduces melee damage by 25%. So this is a super item that all the pets have. The shaman pet has it and the necro pet has it. So the only thing that's different is they start with no armor and whatnot. So if we go here and look at what is this called? Conflagrant. This is armor you could give your pet if you wanted to, since it's easy to make. I don't do it because pets are transient and they just randomly die. And it's not worth my time to craft this, but it's 4,000 hit points on most of these slots. Let's look at the Shadow Knight Breastplate, 5,000 H points. So it'd be a significant little upgrade, but I don't think it's necessary in most cases. All right, let's talk about gear. All right, so the best gear you can get at 120 is the Lorien Song Tier 1. Pretty self-explanatory there. Tier 3 of the last previous expansions are the best if that is where you're capped at. If your server doesn't go past Terror of Lucklin, Tier 3 Terror of Lucklin. If it doesn't go past Night of Shadows, Tier 3 Night of Shadows. so on. Then once you can get to here is the best. You're gonna want a Convoker source. I think there is a new one in Lorian's Song. Right here, the Conjurer source is probably the better option. But I don't have that available to me yet, so that is what I have available. And let's see here. You're gonna want the best pet earring you can get. This is the tier 1 tradable pet earring. This is enhanced minion 25, which is equivalent to the Terror of Night of Shadows tier 3 pet earring from the otherworldly earring clasp or whatever. And it's the best you can get until tier 3 Lorian Song, so, or raid equivalent is better. See here, you're going to want to get the arms for sure because they increase fire spell damage by 105 to 125%. You're going to want a two-hander, is the best option for a mage because of the huge nuke that is on the two-hander. Now, if we took a look at, say, my necromancer who is using a one-hander, it's only 6,000 damage on this one. And I think this one right here is the other one-hander you can get at, this one's the tier 1, this is the tier 2. You can see this one gives you 400 mana, 6,000, or, 11,000 proc. So, all in all, I would say the two-hander is the best option. It also gives 20,000 mana, 18,000 hit points, so it's pretty nice. And it's one slot you have to worry about. All right. The other items of interest, I think the hat was one. The hat is good for magical-based stuff. The robe is good for that pet, pet clicky. It also increases the critical damage of the spear spell, so that's why I cast Spear of Molten Lucanite, because it is increased by 7% by the robe. The cloak doesn't really do anything for us. I am still wearing a consigned neck, a consigned earring, and consigned rings, so a lot of my stuff is not fully upgraded yet, but eventually it will be. But those are the directions I would go for gear, and then just replace it all with Lorian Song tier 1, and then tier 2, and then tier 3 as you level to 125. AA wise, I would focus first. Conjurer's Synergy is probably the most important, but luckily you don't have to worry about that until 125. But you're going to want the highest level one you can get at that point in time. Then you're going to want Hastened Raging Surge, but that's not yet. So you're going to focus on those ones. And then you're going to want the focuses for the spells you cast, right? So of the many, I have that one at 117. You get that. You're going to want that one. And then Spear, you're going to want that one. And I think that's it, honestly. You're going to want the other ones because they're useful in different situations. Like this one, Capricious Fire. Going to want that one because it is for this chaotic line that I don't have the focus for. I'm 12 of 20 versus 16 of 20. So I'm missing 4 ranks of that for it to even do anything for me right now. Other than that, I would focus on anything that gives me damage, like Heart of the Skyfire, stuff like that. And I think that's like it. I would focus on those and then come back and get all the other stuff to make, to round everything out. You'd eventually want to max out all your AAs with whatever, but I would focus on damage first because as a mage, you're a damage class and everything should be as much damage as you possibly do. So there we go. So I think that's everything I want to cover AA-wise. gear-wise, setup-wise, I think that is everything. Can't think of anything else, so let's just end it there. That is how I play a 120 Mage in the game. I multi-box, but I think a lot of that can be transferable to non-multi-box situations. And there are some clicky items you can summon that do nukes, but it's too complicated for me to try to macro those, to cast those, and then recast it and stuff like that. It's just more work for me. So I'm okay taking that DPS loss since it is a box. You know, it is what it is. But thank you very much for watching and have a fantastic day.